Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto with Caleb. In the last 24 hours, two major institutional developments just hit for XRP. Japan's financial giant SBI Holdings is rolling out Ripple's RLUSD, and CME Group is stepping up in with XRP futures exposure. So XRP's already ticking up, but here's the part that nobody's talking about, and the broader market still isn't stable. And one major bank just slashed its XRP outlook. So the question is this the beginning of a real move or just another fake out? Stick with me. Let's get into it. Let's see what's going on in this space. So first, let's zoom out. Markets are reacting to a sign of easing geopolitical tension, which is helping, risk assets recover after a pretty rough stretch. When oil cools off and uncertainty drops, capital typically rotates back into higher risk assets, and crypto is usually first in line. So, why this matters for XRP? Well, Ripple's entire value proposition is global payments, right? So, anything that stabilizes international markets indirectly, strengthens its use case, right? So, to be clear, it's not a confirmed bull run yet, but it's more like the first signs of life after a slow bleed. So, now that this is where things are starting to get interesting is SBI Holdings, one of the biggest financial groups in Japan, is now rolling out Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin in its infrastructure. That's a big deal. RLUSD is Ripple's US dollar backed stablecoin designed for fast, compliant, especially across borders, payments, remittances, right? And Japan is not a small test market. It's one of those it's one of the most regulated, institution heavy financial environments in the world. So what does this even really mean? Well, it means like Ripple's is no longer just building infrastructure, right? It's deploying it at scale. There's some important clarification here. RLUSD operates within the XRP ledger ecosystem, but it doesn't automatically mean XRP price is, spikes overnight. But what it does mean is increased network activity, more liquidity pathways, and more reasons for institutions to interact with the ecosystem. And over time, that's what drives value, right? So if you're getting in now, I think you're going to be, not financial advice, of course, but I think you're going to be very, very pleased with your decision in that case. Next up, institutional access just got easier. So CME Group is one of the largest derivatives exchanges in the world. It's expanding into XRP related futures exposure. So now if you've been in crypto a while, you've seen this playbook before. Future markets for Bitcoin, Ethereum, opens the door for institutional participation. But they also introduce volatility. So it kind of cuts both ways. On one hand, you have more access, more liquidity, more legitimacy. On the other, more leverage, more short-term manipulation potential. For XRP though, it's still a net potential, positive. It's a positive outlook. So, because it signals one thing, institutions want exposure, guys. The institutions are gobbling it up. While retail's like selling their bags at the bottom, institutions are gobbling up XRP right now. There's also growing chatter around institutionals like positioning in XRP related products. So like firms like Goldman Sachs, right? They're increasing their involvement in digital assets exposure more broadly, including XRP linked investment vehicles. And at the same time, we're seeing mixed flows across crypto ETFs. Some assets are seeing outflows while XRP related products are holding relatively steady. But, that divergence, it matters because it suggests, selective accumulation, not just, broad market hype, right? And historically, that's how early stages of larger moves begin. And I think that's exactly where we are. So the fundamentals are there, you guys. Ripple continues to expand its business regardless of short-term price action. And behind the scenes, development on the XRP ledger is still moving forward, including research into stronger security frameworks, scalability improvements. Like this is all part most people ignore during sideways markets. It's kind of boring right now, right? It's like it dumped and now we're just hanging out at these levels. Are we going to dump further? Maybe. Not sure. We'd love to know. We're going to find out either way, though, right? But price stalls, attention drops, but development, it keeps going, you guys. It keeps moving forward. And when price eventually catches up, I hope you're on the winning side of that, you know? So right now, XRP is trading above, around a buck 37 or so. It's kind of just moving sideways in like a tight consolidation. Also, consider this, you guys. We're just going into like 5-6 months of a continued down stretch of red monthly candles. That doesn't scream like we're going down further. To me, that starts to scream that the markets are getting exhausted. So how much further can we go? I'd like to know. But, bottom line, while the broader market is still uncertain, Ripple is continuing to win on adoption and institutional positioning. And those are the kind of developments that don't always show up in price right away, but they tend to matter the most over time. So, I mean, I want to hear from you guys. What's your realistic XRP price target for 2026? Drop it down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. If you find any value with this information, please put a like and a subscribe. It really helps this channel to grow, and I appreciate you guys so much. But hey, for now, I want you to, stay positive, be blessed, and I'm going to catch you in the next one.